Hello, boys and girls. So we left off on chapter 12 on waiting for the magic, and some of you guys heard the next two chapters, 13 and 14, at our Google Meet today. But for those of you who didn't, here you go. Chapter 13. There were flowers again, and a tablecloth and cloth napkins. There were cookies on the table. Neo. Chocolate, please. Sorry, Neo, said Papa. You can have a dog biscuit, though. Neo. Better than nothing. Grace. Not really. What's happening? Asked Eleanor, looking a bit scared. A serious family meeting, I asked. Nothing bad, said Papa. There's news, said Mama quickly. It's a boy. We stared at her for a moment before we realized that she meant the baby. So I won't have to share my princess dresses and fairy wings, said Eleanor. Maybe not, said Papa. What will his name be? I asked. Don't know. Anyone have favorite names? Asked Papa. Eleanor ticked some names off on her fingers. Sam, Nicholas, Honest, Useful, and Weenie, she said. I'm not sure a boy would like to be called Weenie Watson, Papa said. Or Useful, said Mama, getting up slowly. Her back hurt and she took naps in the afternoons. I'll sleep for a bit and then I'll cook dinner, she said. No, said Papa. I'm going to make raspberry fettuccine. Mama grinned and went off to her nap. Grace. I knew a very nice dog named Nicholas once. I like Nicholas, said Papa. I do too, I said. Nicholas. Nicky. Bryn. I vote for Zachary or Theodore or Henry or Thomas or James or Liam or Rufus or Pepper. Biddy. What's wrong with the name Biddy? Neo. It's your name. Papa smiled at Biddy. Biddy is a very nice name for you, he said kindly. Biddy. Thank you. I still like Weenie, said Eleanor. Papa's writing room was all ready. Paintings on the walls, bookshelves with books, a small couch, an oriental rug, an easy chair, a desk, and his computer and the printer. Papa bought many packages of printing paper and lugged them up the stairs. Then Papa sat at his desk doing nothing. The dogs were amused. Neo, I already accept for the writing. I heard that, said Papa with a small smile. Do I have to shut you all out of my room? Grace, not a good idea. Biddy, we'll watch you, waiting for the magic. Papa turned and stared at Biddy. Better write that down, said Neo. Papa looked at the dogs, then as if he had Eleanor's magic wand in his hand, he waved a pencil over the dogs one by one. They all lay down. Papa grinned at me. He turned and began to type. I could see the words on the computer screen. Waiting for the magic. Chapter 14. Papa wrote and wrote during the next month. The dogs clattered up and down the stairs, spending mornings with him. The dogs are my muse, said Papa. What's a muse? Asked Eleanor. My inspiration, said Papa. I write better when they are here. The dogs are all up here all the time, Eleanor complained. She had on her new preschool clothes, a plaid dress with tights and Velcro sneakers. Tomorrow was the beginning of preschool. My school began in a week. They're here every single day, she said in a whiny voice. Neo, whining is not lovely. I like whining, said Eleanor. Biddy, beware of the whiny fairy. Who's that? Asked Eleanor. Biddy, she comes in the night when you're sleeping and spits in your face. Spit, spit, spit. Eleanor's eyes grew wide. Papa and I burst out laughing, and Eleanor laughed too. That's why you're my muse, Biddy, said Papa. I want a muse, said Eleanor. You don't need a muse, sweet girl, said Papa. Now go away so I can write about the whining fairy who spits in your face while you sleep. We went downstairs laughing. Marvelous Murphy came bringing alternative foods, as my grandfather called them, mysterious casseroles with what looked like ferns and zinnias in them. You shouldn't be cooking, dearie, she said. Oh, I hardly cook at all, said Mamma. Joe is the master cook here. He's making noodles and maple syrup tonight, said Eleanor. Oh, no, that doesn't sound healthy, said Marvelous, swishing around the kitchen. Hello, charming dogs, she said. Neo. Hello, you charmingly wacky woman. Eleanor and I laughed because we knew Mama and Marvelous didn't hear him. They smiled at our laughing anyway. And when is the baby arriving? Asked Marvelous. Whenever he chooses to arrive, said Mama. Suddenly, I felt cold. I felt afraid for Mama. What's wrong, William? Said Mama. I shrugged, afraid to speak, and Marvelous saved me from answering by bustling noisily around the kitchen, brewing what Papa called her weed tea. I've written a poem for little Joseph, said Marvelous. She whipped out a paper and leaned against the kitchen counter. Who's little Joseph? I asked. The baby, said Marvelous. He will probably be named after his father. Oh, no, said Eleanor. His name will be Weenie Watson. Marvelous, for the first time in her life, was silent, her mouth open. Neo. If I could, I would laugh. Grace. That is the hardest thing about being a dog. Biddy. Except for not being able to open cans of dog food. It was quiet in the kitchen then, Mama smiling at Eleanor and Marvelous unable to speak. Bryn said it. Peaceful. Okay, boys and girls, if you want to hear chapters 15 and 16, check on our Google Classroom, and I will see you tomorrow at our 10 o'clock Google Meet. Bye.